And they also found themselves dropping a few points. I'm sure you saw that one, Ivan, backstage. What on earth happened in that game for Complexity? Because there was 2 minutes left in there. I think they might not have had the kickoff, which was probably the reason why. But you don't go and throw away a 1-0 lead with 2 minutes left in the game.
You don't, but it's easier said than done, right? You can say the same thing about 2-0 leads, 3-0 leads, but once that constant pressure tactic is activated, it's so hard to keep a lead. And we've seen it both with XL Complexity. Both teams 1-0 up, finish 1-1.
Could see a chance early doors from Complexity. Didn't take them long, did it? 4 minutes on the clock, and MaXe with the finish of Mbappe. What a start from the only North American representation here in the EA Sports Cup for this FIFA 23 year. Talk me through that goal. Lovely build-up. They're on for a second here. It's very much a case of we're getting in your face and we're ready to score some goals.
I think...
I'll tell you what, it might not last very long. Oh my days. What a start! 7 minutes in. I score, you score. I was about to let you down break. I was about to let you break down the first goal, Ivan. You might as well talk to me about both of them.
I didn't want to talk too soon because I saw XL on the attack and I figured they might make it 1-1. 7th minute, 2 goals already. And already we've seen the score that XL and Complexity had in the first 2 games. And I think if Complexity kept the 1-0 lead, it would have been a lot of pressure on XL, especially so early on. You're very likely to concede a second, and then it's kind of the constant pressure coin flip. Whereas now 1-1, I think XL might actually have like the mental advantage, right? Like they've conceded, but kicked straight back. So
I think the biggest thing in that movement there, Ivan, is how quickly they scored.
100%.
If that goes on, what, 30, 40 in-game minutes, you start to just give Complexity maybe that edge.
I think this game seems to be a little more messy, so to speak, for 2v2 or for at least what we've seen so far. We've seen, except the NIP SPQR game, which was one-sided, which was 3-0, we've seen 1-1s and 1-0s. Whereas here, 7 minutes in, already 1-1. I think we're kind of in for a goal fest.
Well, the 2 highest goal score lines we've seen in the EA Sports Cup. Last week was 4-1. The week before that was 6-1 from Ducks Game. And I mean, they're a rarity seeing those results. You might be right, Ivan. Maybe we are in for a magical game here. Here's Mbappe now driving forward. This is Joksan with that blue player icon above his head. MaXe does well, finds the feet of R9. This is Joksan. It was time red. Still needed to pull a good save out from Van der Sar.
I think the thing that helps also XL score goals, or in theory it should, is that I saw them playing 4-3-2-1, which is a very attacking formation. Obviously, it defends in 4-4-2, so it gives you some stability at the back. But in terms of scoring goals, especially if you master the formation, you are very likely to score, but also likely to concede on the counter, because when playing that formation, you likely have a fullback pushing up, and that leaves you susceptible to concede more goals.
Saw a few times there for Complexity how good they've been at just pressing that ball down and getting those triggers right, so to speak, of when to win back the ball. Didn't mean to curse them there as Zambrotta does just get dispossessed.
Again, you can see the right back pushing forward for XL. Zambrotta running behind Zidane, tracking back. The wing is always going to be open and they can score.
Building nicely again, Joksan with R9. That should go. No, it's gone for a goal kick.
And again, it all starts from that freed up space from Zambrotta. He helps in the attack. He gives you kind of a numerical advantage, I should say. But on the counters, you need kind of Zidane, your right center mid, to cover manually at the right back spot. And I think we're going to see at least 4 goals this game.
4 goals?
At least. Especially when constant pressure gets activated. It's one of those where you're either going to score on a counter or you're going to concede.
Just in terms of formations as well, Nightwatch, we had a conversation with Ryan Pessoa about this across the last 2 games. It's a question of, are we going to see one standout formation, or are we just going to see such a mix-up across tonight, do you think?
I think the main 2 formations that are played are the 5-2-1-2, which we saw MGCF playing, and I noticed they're actually playing Zidane at cam because you want him to help out defensively in the middle of the pitch. And the 4-3-2-1 that XL are playing. Those are kind of the meta formations. You could see the occasional 4-2-2, 4-4-2, but I think 4-3-2-1 might be better for 2v2.
Cafu tries his best to whip that one into the box, into Zidane. The chance still could be alive for XL. Pull it from distance. I think maybe fancy one of those power shots.
Exactly, I was just going to focus on the power shots. I think I saw it in one of the previous rounds where off a free kick, I believe maybe MGCF tried a power shot. And it's not so easy to see because they have the zoom turned off. Obviously at pro level we tend to turn it off. But it's really effective, especially if you're green and you have enough time. It's 99% a goal if it's on target.
Always said it reminds me a bit of like a game breaker back in the days of FIFA Street. No one is stopping that if it's on target.
One thing I'm not seeing is Haaland off the bench, which is surprising to me because I think he wins a lot of headers, and especially in the XL formation, to cross right now back post. If he's in the box back post, regardless who he's facing, he's winning the header, either score a goal or assist. But
he was introduced a few times, I'd say last 15 minutes or so, and he has made an impact. He did, I think, assist one of the winning goals for TGNIP last game. And I think you're right, he does just offer you that frame, but I guess from a pro mindset, that striker position is sort of gold, really, isn't it? It's the case of who's getting it, Mbappe or R9, or obviously both of them.
Yeah, I guess when you have these accounts, you're less likely to play Haaland, obviously, because you have the likes of Cruyff and Ginola as a sub, but he offers something that those players don't.
Jarzinho now, building nicely complexity. Looking for the last chance of the first half. 1-1 is the score so far in round 3 of games. Nice turn from the Brazilian icon. MaXe looking for the cutback for his teammate in Joksan. Added time to follow of nothing, I believe, and that will do us for the halfway point. XL 1, complexity 1. But I think the biggest point of this game, Nightwatch, is you're right. It was how they responded, XL, because they could have come into half-time at 1-0 down. It would have been a very different storyline.
100%. And if the second half starts the same way the first half started, I think the team that concedes will have a lot of issues. I think constant pressure will be obviously turned on around the 70th minute, but it's one of those where you can't afford to start the same way you started the first half. Yeah,
well, also, as you can just see behind us, there is another game taking place. That is Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas taking on MGCF. It's SBQR that is sitting out of that round. Speaking of them, they need the break now because they've got 0 points from 6 in total. That is the worst possible start for the Brazilian side.
I think it doesn't help that it's a new duo, so you've had less time to practice than the other teams, and it shows directly.
Where's the stats at half-time here between XL and Complexity? Not a lot to go by. I mean, some would argue quite an even contested game so far. I love that tactic ball there from Coach Javi in the XL dugout. Hopefully we'll see a few magnets and drawings on that as we move forward to the further rounds this evening. Remember, both these two teams are looking for their first win in the tournament. Both opened up play with a draw. Actually the same scoreline as well, both 1-1.
I think towards the end of the game, if one of the teams is in the lead, you'll always have that in the back of your mind. I was 1 goal up last game. Am I going to keep the lead? Am I going to concede? I can't do that 2 games in a row because then I'm not in a good position for next rounds. And whenever I take the lead, it kind of plays in the back of my head. So I think the next goal, if there is one, obviously, but I think the next goal is very, very important mentally for both teams. They're in a very, very similar position. 2 duos that have played last year didn't have the greatest of years compared to what was expected of them. Obviously, top 8 at the World Cup for XL is a very good achievement. But considering it's Tom and Gorilla, right? E-Prem champion, World Cup champion, you expect more. They expect more from themselves. If you watched the World Cup, you would see their reactions. They know it themselves. And complexity. World champions, they expect more of themselves as well. So pressure is on both teams.
Shots for either team there. Didn't come to anything. XL out the blocks here. There's a lack of support there as Jarzinho's just out of position ever so slightly. Bo Carlos actually gets the nod this game. Keep an eye on that run from Huller that he just teased there. We've seen that happen quite a few times tonight, Ivan. That tease run from Huller, he just offers you that extra question mark that normally, I mean, you can't defend it, to be honest. If the ball's going through to him, you're in trouble. Great feed. This is building up nicely. Maldini just about does enough with players around him. Well played there, Tom. Great composure.
Yeah, in terms of Huller, I think Ryan mentioned it in one of the previous games. It's a danger. If you see Huller running forwards, there is no way you ignore it, because as soon as the ball is on his head or in his feet, it's very likely to be a goal. And if you focus too much on it, there's a lot of space in the middle of the pitch. So you can't win.
Zidane. Good feet, edge of the box. This could be dangerous. Mbappe! Great save, Anderson. And here comes a corner from XL, which they made look quite interesting in their last game. What are we going to see here from Tom and Gorilla? It's Tom over the corner. Just keep an eye on that player moving in the box. It's between Hullet and Vieira, just teasing. Where's the ball going to go? It goes into Hullet! And it goes into the back of the goal.
I mean, at pro level, we know it's a very, very, very effective tactic. One thing that surprised me here is that Complexity did not touch their goalkeeper. Usually you see two things. Either you take the goalkeeper and you move him kind of near post to stop the direct corner, or you take the keeper and you put him kind of further away to stop this cross, and it's kind of mind games. Am I going to concede directly? Am I going to concede a header? But they didn't touch the goalkeeper at all. They relied on just stopping the header. And we know, FIFA 23, these crosses and headers are very, very effective. And I think Tom knows it as well. Tom did not expect that to go in. You can see him laughing after that. But they didn't do either. They relied on covering Hullet, and it didn't work out for them. And as we said, 2-1, 66 minutes, 2 questions. Have they gone constant pressure already? And are XL going to kind of panic considering what happened last round?
23 minutes away, you are right on that, Nightwatch. Absolutely. They were in a lead in their last game, XL, but were able to hold on to it. Same for Complexity, to be completely honest. What will change now in terms of tactics? Or will there be an instant response from Complexity that win a free kick here, which could be very dangerous? Just outside the box, it is Joksan that is over it. Are we seeing a direct shot? I think we will be.
I would go far post here. No.
Joksan, play short. Mbappe off the line by Hullet. Still could be alive, this chance for Complexity. But did they make the right decision, Ivan?
I think too many players in the box, especially when you put a player on the line. If you play it short, you know that you have to pick the perfect spot, the perfect pocket of space. And I don't think there was one, honestly. There was a player on the line, the keeper. And when you put a player on the line, the whole kind of team drops back to cover as well. So you have even more players. I think what I would have done here is probably shoot far post from where the goalkeeper was moved and hope it goes over the player on the line. But I don't know, they decided to play short, which you can also see from the animation. So XL were kind of ready. They had some time to react. And I think that was a very, very good chance to score. But now they're waiting for the pause for constant pressure. And I don't think XL is going to give them a pause in the next 10 in-game minutes.
Pele into R9, just offside is Mbappe. This is nice from XL. Looking for a third goal to conclude the game completely. Moving it very well, back to goal. Jarzinho versus Elastico. Does do well, gets a big block of Virgil van Dijk, someone that you're a huge fan of. Just proving his worth again in this team.
He's indispensable. I don't understand how you can play without Virgil van Dijk, especially on these accounts. I think the accelerate meta, so to speak, the lengthy meta, alongside his stats, his stature, his kind of build, he's much, much needed. And Complexity, they got their pause by giving the ball away, but I think constant pressure is getting activated right now. And question is, are you winning those 50-50s in the air? Are you getting those tackles in? Are you conceding on a counter? Or are you going to get the ball back, tackle? And I think constant press offers you very good counterattacks.
Is it time for Haaland as well on the flip side? 6 minutes left. You're looking for an outlet maybe?
I think Haaland is good for XL right now, so you can kind of chip the ball on his head, bring it down, and have a counterattack in on net, especially if you're playing against Cafu. I see a lot of players and a lot of teams using Cafu on these accounts. He has very good stats, but obviously he doesn't have the height, he doesn't have the jumping to kind of play against Haaland.
So you can sort of bully him really, can't you, towards the back post?
Especially if you're Haaland, not even back post, just to get out of pressure. You're getting swarmed by attackers and midfielders. All you do is just chip it towards Haaland. You know he's going to win the header and just be ready for the knockdown.
On the side of XL, it's a case of, look, there's 8 minutes left in this game. We've got a huge chance at 3 points on the board. If you're in this position, another goal, or let's just keep the ball?
I think considering what happened last game, you want to keep the ball as good as possible, but it's one of those where if you keep the ball, if you want to keep the ball and you concede, why didn't I go for goal? If you go for goal and you concede, why didn't I keep the ball? So it's a 50-50. I noticed Adama.
Come on, he's going to offer A lot of pace there. They've been dispossessed though, Complexity. Quite poor in the attack. It's a win back nicely there for XL. Vieira doing his job at the back. Now they could break with numbers forward, which naturally will be the case where Complexity are trying to put more bodies forward. CR7 comes on, not good enough in the air there. Cafu, just about right place, right time. Able to win the ball there. Eusebio, he's come on to try and shake up this attack. Complexity looking for an equaliser. Pele! MaXe with another goal!
We said it. We said it. 1 goal up, last minutes of the game. We saw it in Complexity's game, we saw it in XL's game, and now we see it in the Complexity XL game. So 2-2, what do you do now? Are you satisfied going with only 1 point out of this game for the second game in a row if you're XL, or do you go for a goal?
Just looking back on that replay grid there, playing it back to himself. As you can see there.
They can't be happy.
2. I mean, if we had to be clinical in that area, what's that come down to? Just someone not tracking the runner, or is it just a moment of brilliance?
I think when you have the extra pass, as we just saw with Pele, it's kind of mind games. Are you going far post or near post, or are you shooting on Pele's left foot? Because are you taking these chances as an attacker? I would, considering like the minute and the scenario. But as a defender, maybe you think he's not going to shoot. He's going to shot cancel turn. Maybe he's going to go far post, near post. There was no keeper movement either, so maybe they didn't expect the shot. But either way, it's 2-2, and I think XL are going to play last attack again.
Big question, Ivan. Another goal or a draw?
I think it's a draw. I think it's a draw. I don't think Complexity are going to go constant pressure.
Tell you what, you said 4 goals in this game. You've delivered there.
Yeah.
You can come back again on commentary and give us some more predictions.
I think they're going last attack, and Complexity, I don't think are scoring a goal. Question is, are XL going to have the chance? They didn't last time, but now they might.
Well, look at the time on the screen. Added time left, XL after a goal, and Cristiano Ronaldo trying to be that hero. Unfortunately, not able to deliver the all-important finish. 2-2 ends here. Another draw as XL and Complexity go back to the drawing board again and into round 4.